So the biggest lie that they sell you is that it's about your state. Just get in a high vibe and everything is going to magically fall into place. But how many times have you felt aligned, positive, and in flow, and your whole life is still crumbling around you? For me, I've honestly lost count. And when that happens, you don't question the belief, do you? You question yourself. You start going, maybe I'm not spiritual enough, and maybe I slipped out of alignment and that's my fault. But that's not growth. That's actually gaslighting dressed up in incense and crystals. Yeah, I love that line. And it works, you see. It sells. It feeds the algorithm because it promises you an easy path. But you can't mindset your way into a meaningful life. You can't high vibe your way out of real pain. If you want your dream life, it takes grit, it takes truth, it takes evolution and daily fucking work. So if you're still here, hit subscribe right now because I promise you this. This video doesn't go viral. This isn't algorithm friendly. This truth, it doesn't sell. This is you friendly. And you won't find me again unless you decide to. So if you want to be a more deeply integrated part of this movement, you can join our community of genuine truth seekers by checking the links down below. Nonetheless, let's check out what we're going to cover in this video. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down 3 things that might completely rewire how you see spirituality today. And honestly, I really hope they do. So first of all, we're going to talk about the myth that your state creates your life, and how that idea keeps you chasing highs while your foundation rots underneath you. Secondly, I'm going to be exposing the monetized machine of spiritual fluff, including the explosion of AI content that looks deep, feels inspiring, and is completely hollow. It's frictionless to make, addictive to consume, and designed to keep you scrolling, not growing. And thirdly, I'll share what I've learned about real inner transformation, what it actually takes to build spiritual strength, clarity, and freedom. Yeah, and that's with no bypassing, no quantum hacks, just the real thing. So if you've ever felt like you're doing all the right things but still feel lost, stuck, or low-key ashamed, this is the video that I wish somebody had made for me all those years ago. So let's talk about the state myth. They tell you, raise your vibration, align your energy, and the universe will rearrange itself to match you. But here's the trap. You do the thing, you feel great, you're high on gratitude and alignment, and nothing happens. Or worse, your job falls apart, your relationship cracks open, your health tanks, and now what? You don't question the system, you question yourself. Maybe I wasn't aligned enough, maybe it's my fault, maybe my subconscious is sabotaging me, maybe I need another course, another coach, another activation. And that's another video. Maybe why you're here. And that's not growth, that's a system built to keep you consuming, not evolving. Here's the truth. You're not a vending machine. Spirituality isn't a slot game where you put in good vibes and expect an instant payout. Real transformation doesn't reward your state, it rewards your integrity, your grit, and your willingness to become someone you're not yet. Powerful, right? It's not about attracting the life you want, yeah? It's about becoming the kind of person who can hold it without losing themselves. And that's a big difference. So let's talk about the monetized vending machine of spiritual fluff. So let's talk about why this lie survives. It's not because it's true, it's because it sells. Staying in a high vibration, well, it looks empowering, but it is a trap. It tells you that your state creates your reality, which means if things aren't working, it's your fault. And now you're not just chasing alignment, you're monitoring yourself nonstop to make sure that you don't drop. And that's exhausting and that's a waste of all of your spiritual energy. You feel sad? Well, that's because you're out of alignment. You feel anger? Well, that's because you're blocking your abundance. And suddenly you're not healing, you're performing wellness to avoid punishment from the big man in the sky, or karma. But here's the truth that most people never hear. You don't need to be in a high vibe state to be free. You don't need to feel good to be whole. You can be sad and still free. You can be angry and still awake and alive. You can be in pain and still on the path. And that's the part they never tell you, because that kind of truth, it doesn't sell. And now we're watching a whole new wave of nonsense hit, and that's AI-generated quotes and videos, fake channeled messages from the AI overlords. Royalty-free music and fake depth, mass-produced to keep your eyeballs glued to the screen and keep the algorithm pumping money. It's effort-free. It takes next to no effort to create. It's addictive to consume and spiritually bankrupt. And that's what happens when growth becomes a genre. You know, it's no longer about becoming someone you're not yet. It's about seeming awakened. The goal isn't transformation, it's reach. Not truth, but traction. And meanwhile, the people actually struggling, actually trying to grow, actually genuinely trying to get their spiritual development on track, well, they're scrolling through manifestation affirmations that feel good, but just that leave people starving, and people get trapped and think that's the journey. That's not the journey. But I get it, because look, my mess, it just became my message. Like, my whole life has been one big fuck up. And I used to think that that disqualified me, that if I wasn't perfect, positive, peaceful, I couldn't lead, I couldn't grow, and I certainly couldn't help anyone. But it's the opposite that's actually true. That pain, that chaos, that shame spiral, it didn't block my path. It was the path. And walking it, honestly, is what made me strong. Not the vision boards, not the affirmations, the work, the facing, the falling apart, and getting back up. So let's have a look at what real growth actually looks like. So if the spiritual sugar high doesn't work anymore, then what will and what does? What does real growth actually look like? Well, I can tell you this. It ain't sexy. It's not viral either, but it is true. Real growth looks like you sitting in the feelings that you were taught to avoid. Not fixing them, not flipping them, not being overly positive to reject them, just being with them. It looks like taking radical responsibility for your patterns without blaming your frequency, your ex, or Mercury fucking retrograde. It's breaking cycles in silence. It's choosing integrity over image. It's doing the shit that no one claps for. And it's slow, it's unpredictable. Healing is non-linear, but it's also freeing because it's not performance. We're not performing for somebody to prove how spiritual I am. It's practice. It's not about getting a dream life. It's about building a real life that's rooted, honest, and actually divinely yours. So here's to your genuinely authentic life, not the curated one, not the high vibe one, the one where you're actually free because you stop running from yourself. And if this spoke to you, you're going to want to watch this next video because honestly, modern spirituality has just become glorified avoidance. We're going to break it down, why it feels good, why it's everywhere, and how to stop hiding from it and get the real truth beneath it. So go ahead and click that button there and watch that one next. I'll see you there.